Welcome to season 2 of the Pondering Parenthood podcast.
We're officially here.
Season 2.
We made it.
We're doing it.
We
Took
had
a
brief hiatus.
very brief. One might even say
Too brief.
not even a hiatus. But we're here. We're doing episode 2. Very excited, and
This is episode 1.
Sorry, episode 1 of season 2.
Season 2.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna get it right. This is episode 1 of season 2 of the Pondering Parenthood podcast, Triple P. For those of you who have been with us through season 1, thank you for joining us again. For those of you who are just joining us now, you missed a whole season. You gotta go back. Just pause, go back, and then come here. So you got a whole season to get through. We're gonna start off. Well, I guess I should say I'm your host, Mike, here with my co-host
Megan.
And we are going to be using this new recording platform for this season.
Well, we used it on our recap of season 1 episode.
Yep.
So if you noticed a little audio shift, that's why.
And you might start to see some video.
Maybe. Here and there. Little snippets.
I'm dressed differently than I normally am dressed.
Yeah.
Because of this.
That's
I'm a little
great.
more professional looking.
You're ready. You even showered for this?
Showered. First time since the beginning of season 1. So we're gonna kick off season 2 with an episode just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
And on today's episode, we're gonna talk about night terrors.
Night terrors, nightmares, and how we traumatized our firstborn child.
Yep. Now, here's the thing about trauma. Our children live a privileged life.
Very privileged.
Bougie, some might call it. For example, the other day, our firstborn, Snuz, decided that she is not as much of a fan of waffles as she used to be. Our kids every Sunday get either waffles or chocolate chip pancakes, all made from scratch. And our firstborn said, I don't really like waffles as much as I used to. And then she said, no, that's not true. I really like them when they're freshly made, but I don't like them when they're reheated. So this kid has been getting reheated waffles for breakfast during the week.
Reheated homemade
waffles. And she's like, nah, bro, I'm good on that. Meanwhile, most kids are just eating frozen Eggo waffles. So that's how bougie our kids are. So I'm sad. What we're gonna talk about today is kind of rough and something rough that we went through. But also, I don't know, maybe it'll help toughen them up a little bit. Because again, they soft.
No,
they
just
soft.
Little.
They're real soft.
Little sweet little nuggets.
All right, Megan. Tell the folks what happened.
Okay. So it was the season of Passover. Mike is Jewish. And I grew...
You said that so... such disgust.
No.
Do you hate Jewish people?
I love Jewish people. Clearly.
I don't know.
No, so I grew up watching this movie. Did you grow up watching this movie?
It's really funny. So no, I mean,
I am not Jewish.
I had watched it prior, but your family loves this movie.
At karaoke, my brothers sing songs from this movie.
Yeah.
In duet form. We should post that.
We should post that.
So I grew up watching Prince of Egypt, which is a DreamWorks cartoon movie that tells the story of Passover for children. Absolutely gorgeous music. The music is incredible.
Music's good, the animation's good, and the story is, I mean, it's like...
Well, the story is the story of Passover.
It is the story of Passover, yeah. It's not really zhuzhed up at all. It's pretty authentic to the text.
Yeah. And we felt like they would enjoy it, especially Snuz really loves music. Mm-hmm. So we just thought it would be a good selection for movie night.
And we felt it would be a good way to, because we celebrate Passover in our family, and we've talked about that.
Episode 7, we talked about our holiday traditions.
Oh, Megan was ready. but like we felt that this would be a good way to share the story of Passover and to create another tradition. Like we celebrate Passover and we watch The Prince of Egypt. And we felt like that would be a good new tradition to start and also a good way to share with them the story of Passover.
Yeah. So we did, and our firstborn Snuzz has always been more of a sensitive kiddo. And when it comes to movies, will often express like, "Oh, this is scary. This is scary. I don't like this." And in which case, we'll just either like we have in the past like fast forwarded certain sections or whatever if we do think it is too scary for her.
But it's
But she will get scared of not scary elements of it's more about the unknown. Like, oh, I haven't seen this, so I'm scared. And it could be, dancing daisies on the screen, but if the sound is even slightly ominous, she's like, I'm scared.
so that's it's not just that she is like sensitive to scary things. Like I mean, I remember we would watch Beauty and the Beast and she would start crying, not out of sadness, but like at some beautiful portions of music she would start crying. Like
Yeah,
she
or she would just get teary-eyed from the
yeah.
music. And she would say like it's the music.
Yeah, like she feels things very intensely. I think like a lot of people, when you're watching TV or watching a movie and there's like discomfort in the scene that you're watching, we all feel that discomfort. I think she feels those things like really, really intensely. And because she's so young, she can't name those feelings. So they're all just scared. All those feelings of discomfort
Hmm.
are just all scared. She's just, I'm scared, I'm scared. Even though we're looking at it, we're like, honey, there's nothing happening that's scary. Like it's really hard for us to like relate because it's like there isn't anything, but I think for her a lot of the times it's what you said, like unknown, and then any level of discomfort, any ominous music, anything that is not,
And so we've experienced a lot of times where we'll introduce a movie to her and she has these reactions, but then at the end of the movie she's like, I really liked that movie. And it's just like getting through it. Um this movie she started expressing like, I don't this is scary, this is
yep.
scary. And it was definitely more intense than usual.
I mean, to be fair, at one point she was like scream crying.
Yep, and we had we we were snuggling on the couch and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, if you think it's scary, we'll just you can
Cover your
hide your
eyes.
eyes." Um Now looking back, we should have
We
just
should have
stopped the
stopped the
movie.
movie.
So
Yeah.
this was a parenting fail. The movie was I looked it up later and I think
It's
it's
PG.
recommended for like 8 plus.
Yeah,
So it's
but it is
definitely a
PG.
little
It is
beyond.
PG though. It wasn't
Yeah.
PG-13
Yeah,
or
yeah.
anything like that.
Oh yeah. Um Again, I think she's a kiddo where content in the movie that would have normally gone over the head of a 5-year-old, she understood. So there's in the Passover story.
It's well, and the thing too is that like the Old Testament God was like a pretty rough God.
It's dark,
Yeah,
man.
like
It's real dark.
like I remember like learning about the story of Passover as a little kid, and I don't think I really internalized it. But
No.
like it's rough. Like
Well,
at one point, I mean the whole reason that Moses ends up with Pharaoh's family is that Pharaoh declares like basically that all of the Jewish boys are going to be thrown into the Nile and they're going to be
be
murdered.
murdered, yeah.
And that's maybe not appropriate for a 5-year-old.
Pretty dark, pretty dramatic. And there's a scene where it backs up and you see this mural of babies just being thrown
yeah. It's it's like when you say it out loud, it's like, yeah, of course this was a problem.
on Google. So like a couple days after we showed the movie and she freaked out, I looked up on Google like appropriate age, and again it said like I think 8 plus, and then it starts listing like all of the,
Yeah.
the parts of the movie that would not be appropriate, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. So again, just flat out parenting fail.
Yeah.
This is a failure that we experienced.
Part of it too though, and I mean I think we'll talk about this a little bit more later on in the episode. Part of it is also like as a parent, part of our job is to encourage, support, help our kids through challenging things, right? Like if as a parent, and this is a philosophy thing. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't agree with this at all, that's totally fine. But for me, um, it is not our job to protect our children from difficult things. It's our job to support them through difficult things. And I think what's really, really hard as a parent, because we never want our kids to experience any kind of pain or suffering, but life is pain and suffering to some extent. Um, it's hard to know where the line is. Like, when have we pushed too far, or when is it time for us to say, look, this is a little bit beyond us. We need to actually just shut it down. And we thought we were doing the right thing because we were providing, like, look, we're here, we'll cuddle you, close your eyes, leave the room, like do all these things. And unfortunately, Snuz doesn't want to do all those things. What she wants to do is she wants to continue to watch the movie even if it is absolutely terrifying. And so it becomes, you're saying it's a parent fail. Part of it is like we're engaging in some kind of discourse, and maybe we crossed the line.
Yeah, we crossed the line.
Yeah.
So the movie absolutely terrified her. One funny part was we paused the movie at one point to go upstairs and get dinner, and we were getting dinner ready, and she goes, perhaps the story of Jesus would be a little calmer. We're just like,
And I was like, I've got news for you, kid.
you know. But so we finished the movie. I am not sure if it started that night.
I can't
I can't
remember.
remember. It's kind of a blur. But after exposing her to this movie, we experienced nightmares, night terrors. She was like not sleeping. I think she was awake a lot in the middle of the night. She would just have frequent wakings.
Yeah.
To the point that during the day, she's a kid who doesn't usually never
She
naps.
dropped
She
naps
hasn't
by like
napped,
3 years old. She dropped them
hasn't
completely.
napped at school in forever, and was needing a nap in the daytime because she wasn't sleeping. And in the evenings just became completely meltdown, crying over any little thing. When she started to notice, like, oh, it's gonna be bedtime.
She would start crying. We would be pulling up from school. We'd be pulling into the driveway. She would have been totally fine in the car, happy, talkative, telling me what happened during the day, making jokes, this and that, singing along to the music. And like, I would stop the car, I'd go around to her side and open the door, and she'd be crying.
Yeah. And she'd often say, like, I don't know why I'm like, so she was recognizing, like, she didn't see anything around her that, like, triggered it, but her body was just...
Yeah. And just to note, like, night terrors and sleepwalking were something that we had experienced prior with her.
Yeah, a little bit.
Snuz has like definitely woken up in the middle of the night just crying, and we'll go up there and he'll be like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And she'll be like, and it's like her eyes are wide open, but it's very clear that she's not awake. And our doctor told us, I mean, we had experienced that a long, long, long time ago. Our doctor was like, "Yep, totally a normal, appropriate." Our doctor was like, "Yeah, I mean, all your soothing is doing is really making you feel better because they're not going to remember anything that's going on." So we had experienced this with her, but it got to the point where it was every single night we were getting a kid that was out of bed crying, freaking out, and was very clearly asleep.
Yeah. So I have a little info on night terrors for the audience. Night terrors usually happen about 2 to 3 hours after a child falls asleep, and that's kind of what we were experiencing.
That's what we were experiencing, yeah.
It's when their brain is in non-REM sleep, and the child wakes up partly, and the area of the brain that controls fight or flight responses become overexcited, and makes the child feel panicked and terrified. And different from a nightmare, like Mike said, they won't remember it in the morning. And you actually advises that you don't try to wake them from the night terror because it can actually agitate them even more. So like best practice is to just calmly like try to lay them back down. Like I just kept saying like you're safe, and like rubbed her head and but yeah, you're not supposed to be like, trying to wake them up.
She had a couple of accidents too. And this was a
Yeah.
kid, I mean, she had not had any accident for, I don't know, over a year at that point.
Yeah, and one of them happened during a night terror.
Yeah.
Which was really scary. And they almost seem like the kid's possessed.
Yeah.
They she like wanted to tell us something but couldn't get the
Yeah, she'd
words
be like,
out. Like constant stuttering.
yeah.
She would shake,
Yep.
like uncontrollable shaking. Just complete panic.
So we
Oh, and then just a little more information. They typically last. This says 10 to 30 minutes. We only experience like
a few minutes.
Like 5 or less minutes. Yeah. Most of it was the process of just trying to get her to lay back down and like be able to leave the room without her coming out again. And yeah, no memory of the event the next morning.
Some highlights. One, she was at the door crying. So we usually lock our deadbolt, but we started locking our doorknob too because we thought that at least, because she was at the door and we were like,
and
man, if she gets outside, like
we already have a child lock over our front door, but she's old enough now where she knows how to use it. It's more for the younger kid. Yeah. But yeah, we started locking the knob within the door lock
because we figured that would be, she's never unlocked or locked that part. So, but she was at the door and she was crying because she was looking for you.
Well, so the very first one that happened after the movie, we're just like down here watching TV again because this is only like a couple hours after she goes to bed, so we're still usually awake. And she just was like running, or she was out and like blood curdling scream, and we ran upstairs, and she's like by the door. And that one I guess was more of a nightmare because she told us that I was being taken away by someone.
Yep.
And she was trying to get to me.
Yep. That was rough. Another one, I'm trying to remember. Oh, this one happened. This was like not during that time. This actually was maybe like a week ago, but I think she was crying and you went up there and she does jujitsu and she was standing on her bed in like her base stance, like getting ready to fight.
Yes. That one was unrelated.
That one was like, completely. Yeah, but that was just, again, like that was, she was totally asleep.
Standing on her
just
bed.
Standing on her bed, ready to fight.
And I'm pretty sure I was like, what are you doing? And she's like,
I don't know. We've had, she'll like be out of her room walking around and we'll be like talking to her and we'll say, oh, do you need to go potty? And she'll go, yeah. And then she just starts like walking to another room that's not her bathroom.
Guide her.
She like went, I think, into her room at one point and like started to squat. And I was like, no.
Did
like,
really?
Yeah. And I was like, no, this is not the bathroom.
Yeah.
So
that went on for like a long time. It
was like probably 2 weeks.
2 weeks, definitely.
Yeah.
And so it got so bad that we did reach out to our doctor because I was so concerned. It was past the point where I felt like, okay, we should be getting better. And it wasn't really. Because
it wasn't just the night terrors, it was also anxiety. Like it was, she was very clear that she was feeling a lot of anxiety around sleep. And, one of my biggest concerns, I've spoken at length about that on this podcast, but I have major anxiety and I've been in therapy for almost 3 years now to deal with it. And one of my biggest fears was passing that on. And so I think this was, to some extent, almost a little bit traumatic for me as well, because it was sort of like I was, like, living the reality of, like, "Oh, great, now my kid is gonna have this thing that I've spent most of my life with," and which is a bummer. Um, but it was very clear that she was having a lot of anxiety around sleep, and so we couldn't do anything about the night terrors. We can't really do anything about the nightmares, but we did feel like we needed to be a little bit proactive with the anxiety.
Yeah. So we did a lot of different things. I can run through some of
Yeah,
those.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and these are just great ideas for any kid having just trouble in general with sleep or worry. But one of the ideas came from my neighbor and my guidance counselor suggested a dream catcher and making a dream catcher together. And our neighbor was actually really sweet because I had told them about all this, and she and her son brought over a little bag for our daughter with a bunch of little things to help her out. And one of them was like a bag of materials to make a dream catcher. So that was perfect. And so we spent one of the nights just creating that together, and we hung it over her bed and talked about how it's going to catch the bad dreams. Because that very first dream, that very first nightmare of me being taken away, that was like really traumatizing for her. So she was very scared to fall asleep. Some other things we did were a worry.
Sometimes I have dreams of be taken away. I wake up feeling very, very happy.
You're like elated.
Yeah, I'm super happy when I wake up.
We did a
Just kidding.
we did a worry journal, which is also gifted from our neighbor. Shout out Nicole. We love you guys. You guys are so sweet.
I don't think Nicole listens.
I know. We got to get Nicole to listen to this episode. So we got a journal, and we wrote down her worries, and we wrote down what to think about before we go to bed. So we had like a bulleted list, and it was like she came up with like rainbows, unicorns, Nana and Papa, ice cream, like all these cute little 5-year-old happy thoughts.
And the reality is that our kid has always had some sleep issues.
Yeah.
Like this sort of exacerbated, like, I mean, even now, we put her down to bed.
It's hard to get her.
She comes out of the room at least once a night saying, "I don't want to go to sleep." And we like, "No, it's okay."
The transition is rough. So the worry journal was really nice, and I think that was really important because it gave her a space to process it, and that one we didn't really do till later on because I think she wasn't even able to like vocalize what was going on until we were like a week and a half out. But she did express when we did pull that out, like, I never want to see Prince of Egypt again. And the baby's being taken away. That was her biggest worry.
Yeah, it was a rough part.
And she did keep asking, like, are babies taken away in real life? And it's like, what do you say to that?
No.
No. I would just keep saying, like, you and Mouse are safe, and no one's gonna take you away. Then we also got, she has a little warmie, which warmies are wonderful. Anyone who is having a baby or knows somebody having a baby, they're a really sweet gift.
You should make sure you buy 2 of the same one, so that way when they lose the first one, or if your partner drops it in between the train and the platform and it ends up on the tracks and then gets run over by a train, you have an extra one.
Snuz dropped it.
Well, she was, 18 months old and you had her holding that, so,
The warmies are wonderful. They're little stuffed animals that are specially made to put in the microwave, and they smell of lavender. And so they get all nice and warm.
Can't get wet. Don't let them get wet.
Snez gave it a bath once.
Yeah.
And then
we let her out of the house with it.
What is wrong with you? We're not in Papa's corner yet. Can you calm down? Jeez. Don't listen to him. I let my children have fun and explore.
And ruin their warmies.
So, anyway, warmies are wonderful. Look them up. She has one, and it's like her absolute adored stuffy.
Yeah.
She goes to bed with it every night. So we started warming that up because that made her feel like she was with someone. Because one of the lines I was drawing in that was a hard boundary, was like, I'm not going to sleep in this room.
Yeah.
She kept asking, like, could mommy or daddy sleep in my room with me? And we were like, no, that's not going to happen. I did give in to, I will stay for 2 minutes. I'll sit on the floor for 2 minutes and then I'll leave.
We firmly believe in traumatizing our children. We don't firmly believe in engaging in practices that fix the trauma. Listen, I'll show you the movie, but I am not going to sleep in this bedroom with you.
I co-slept with that child for so long.
I'm joking.
I'm not anti-co-sleeping.
I'm joking.
I just did not want to regress back to that.
You didn't want her back in the bed with us.
No.
Yeah, she's too big for that.
She's way too big. Yeah. She used to just like pass out.
I already barely have any room in the bed.
Yeah, she's like a flipper. She won't calm down when you're in the bed with her. Anyway, so yeah, I would stay in the room an extra 2 minutes, and then, but I made sure to like set that boundary. We also got gifted a little stress ball. And some of the other ideas we didn't use, but some coworkers suggested, were there were like something called Rescue Remedy, which is like an essential oil mix that you can get, and it's just like something you can put on their skin and they can smell it and feel calm. It's like a mix of more calming oils. And then a worry doll, which we didn't do, but another cool idea. But anyway, it was also this constant balance, because like that's a long list, right? We wanted to also like recognize that she's going through this really stressful thing, but also not give in to everything she was like expecting or asking for to feel better. And so it's like this tug of war where it's like you want your kid to feel safe and secure, but you're also not going to like coddle them.
Yeah. We also, again, it's also like dealing with the fact that she has anxiety. So we talked a lot about breathing. We talked a lot about talking about our feelings. There would be times where she'd be crying, and we'd be like, it's totally cool to cry. Like, and if there's no reason, if you're crying for no reason, that's fine too. Like, really like kind of like trying to create some space for her to like have these feelings and emotions, but also like name them, be with them, and then, slowly let them go.
Another fantastic book that ties into just what you said is A Little Spot of Anxiety. This woman, I think her name is Diane Alber. She has a whole series of these like little spot books, and it's a spot of every emotion. And so there's a book all about your spot of anxiety and why we have anxiety and what we can do to calm our anxiety. And so we read that as well, and that was really helpful.
And I shared with her that I also have anxiety, and I talked to her about the things that I do. I talked to her about, sometimes I also have trouble falling asleep, and nighttime can be a pretty, like, I don't really love falling asleep. Like, going to sleep is a pretty anxiety-inducing thing for me. And so I talked to her about strategies that I employ. Like, I will close my eyes and I'll just focus on, like, like when you close your eyes, it's dark. So I just like focus on the darkness. And like, I almost like imagine that I've got like a space in my brain where nothing is getting in, and I'm protecting that space from anything getting in. And I just really hyper focus on breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And that really helps me fall asleep. And I don't know if she utilizes any of those strategies, but we did talk about them quite a bit.
Yeah. And again, it's this balance of like, you want your kid to be able to like label and name the emotion, but also not use that as like oh, well, I'm just like this because I have anxiety.
Right.
Like, that's my crutch. It's like, no, we all have anxiety, and these are strategies we can employ to like find our peace and our calm.
And now it's fine. Now it's like we're not having any sleep issues other than the normal, her coming out of her room a couple times before bed. But she's sleeping through the night. And
and she's even said, I think maybe it was like 3 weeks away out from the movie. She's like, the movie's getting farther away, so I'm feeling better. But it was just really hard to watch her go through that. I feel like it was the first time as a parent at least for me, where I felt like, oh, this is something I can't just jump in and fix.
Yeah.
It's like easy when they fall and they scrape their knee. They can get a Band-Aid and kiss it, and it feels better.
Hold them down and scrub it.
And it's okay. Well, we don't. That's what you do, and then.
Have they ever lost a limb due to infection? No, they haven't. So there you go.
This is why we're such a good team. We're so balanced. What was I saying? You interrupted me.
That this was the first time where you like couldn't just step in and fix it.
Yeah, and I told my coworker that, and she's like, "Yeah, welcome to Parenthood." It's gonna be like most of your experience. But we're so used to having little kids, and now she's growing up, and she's having all these internal. She's gonna have so many more internal battles.
Yeah.
But yeah, quite an experience.
Really intense.
Night terrors are no fun at all.
Let us know. Let us know. Write in. Let us know if your kiddos are experiencing any night terrors, or maybe if you did as a kid. Like what were your experiences? What are some things you've done?
I love hearing sleepwalking stories.
What are some things you've done with, like, a lot of kids have trouble with going to sleep.
Absolutely.
Like there's a lot of separation anxiety, things like that. What are some things you've done that have worked? This is like I think it's a very, very common issue for parents to deal with. So having a list of things that people do might be really helpful.
Yeah, and if you've never experienced them before, or if you have like little babies, just some common triggers for night terrors are overtiredness, inconsistent sleep schedules, which goes into overtiredness, I would assume.
Yeah.
Being sick, which we've noticed too. Like if Snez has been sick,
Yeah.
we'll see more of them happen, and stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
we did that. We're gonna start our lows and glows section. I'll start with a glow. So Snuz has been doing, I don't know if I've done this as a glow before. Maybe I have, I don't know. Snuz has been doing jujitsu for quite a few months, and it is really awesome to see her gaining just a tremendous amount of confidence, and then taking what she's learned in jujitsu and applying it outside. We had a situation where somebody was doing something she wasn't super into, and she like yelled stop really loudly and then like kind of backed away. And later on she said to you, because that's something that they had talked about in jiu-jitsu, that like
they talked about all the steps you go through before you have to use jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and so the first step is like saying no or stop really, really loudly.
Please stop! Like,
yeah,
very
really loudly. And then creating space.
Mhm.
And then the last step is,
in getting an adult.
Yep, getting an adult. Yep. And then if you have to use your jujitsu, but it just was
fight mode.
It was really great to see her employing that. And then later on she said, yeah, and I didn't even have to use my jujitsu.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really funny. But also just like, oh, here we go. We're picking up some lessons that we can like start applying outside. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I feel like I've observed her a lot in the past where if she's experiencing conflict, she's just like she's quiet, like a little more shy.
Yeah.
And so not gonna address it head on, or like looks to me for help.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a very clear moment where she was like, no, stop, like very not aggressive, but like,
no, I would say it
right
was
out
aggressive.
there.
It was like, I'm gonna stand up for myself.
Yeah.
And I mean,
which is great.
Attribute that all 100% to jujitsu. Like, she has become more confident overall.
It's awesome. One of my glows is Snuz loves using new vocab words. Just the other day I don't know, I just wrote this down. She like using words like delicious and enormous and just finding big words that she can plug into sentences. Even today, I forget what she said, but she said something really funny, and I started laughing, and she's like, I said that to make you laugh. She's just very aware of it's fun.
One of my lows is Mouse is like full on, like terrible twos, three-nager phase, and just does not listen. Does not like
the default is no.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, I can't stand it.
Yeah. Well, my low is that I broke my hand.
Oh, that has nothing to do with the kids.
Well, it was gonna tie into that.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I broke my hand, and so I'm very limited on how I can help the children, especially when it comes to things like diaper changes for Mouse. And it's like she's big enough and aware enough now where she could just like cooperate and just let me help her change, but instead it's just like this battle. And I'm like, the other night I was almost getting emotional. I'm like, please, mommy's hand hurts. Just stay still. And
Yo,
she's just like running away.
They don't care. One of my glows is when Mouse says, "Is this much better?"
Oh, that's a
So like,
good
I'll ask her to wash her hands, and we wash hands every morning. Every morning we wash hands. And every morning she doesn't put her hands in the water. She like puts her fingers in the water, and I'll go, "No, Mouse, you have to put your whole hand in the water." And then she'll put her whole hand in the water, and she'll go, "Is this much better?" And I'll go, "Yeah, that's much better." That's really adorable.
Oh, that's so sweet. One of my glows, I can't remember if I've said this before, but I have two that kind of go together, and it has to do with just like family routines and traditions. And like, we do Friday night movie night, and that's been really wonderful. And because of the new Toy Story movie coming out in June 19th, Toy Story 5, the latest movie that we put on that I got to choose because it was my night to choose was Toy Story. So getting to like introduce the kids to movies that I really loved growing up, it's been really wonderful. But then the other routine that is a huge glow is just reading chapter books. I think I definitely have talked about that before. To Snuz. We're just getting into chapter books. We're almost through all of the Mary Poppins books. We have one more left. And then I think my next one I'm going to do is Peter Pan. I'm pumped about.
Yeah. Another low, it's not really, it's kid related, but it's not anything kids are doing. Mouse is pretty close to 3, and as much as I'm not happy about it, Mouse is a thumb sucker. It's very, very cute. And also she's turning 3, and it's kind of time to be done with the thumb sucking. And so a low for me is having to enforce no thumb sucking.
My low is that you are enforcing a boundary on the thumb sucking.
That's funny. Well, you just did a low, so I'm gonna go again.
I mean, it was.
Was it a goof?
I didn't have that planned.
Okay. Do you have something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Another glow. This planting season, Snuz was really into planting.
Tell them about grass.
Oh yeah, Snuz. At school they like had these. I guess they were water bottle containers that they cut the top off. They put soil in. They drew like little faces on the water bottle, and then they grew grass as the hair. Yeah. So she's got all this grass now. But Snuz was really into planting. She helped me plant seeds. She helped me plant starch. She was really into the mulch. She helped me with mulch, and I thought it was all a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just loved how anytime you put your starts outside, like she had to put her grass outside.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it's time to bring them in. Oh, I have to bring my grass in. So I was just like following whatever you were doing.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I did not prepare well for this segment, so
It's okay. I think we covered
I
quite a lot
guess
of it.
again my hand's broken, and no, I guess that has nothing to do with kids. I was gonna say how messy our house is, but that's kind of kid related because they're the ones who create the mess. Yeah.
All right, moving on to couples corner.
Couples corner.
All right, so for those of you who get a lot of enjoyment out of Megan and myself fighting on here, that's not going to happen in this particular couples corner.
Aww.
Like I can if
No,
yeah.
I'm good.
I want to talk about the roommate effect a little bit. So I think all relationships have phases, but I think especially for people with kids, it is very easy to fall into the roommate phase. And I'll just kind of explain what that is. That's sort of like a place where you basically are living side by side lives, right? Like it's like we're here, we're like focusing on keeping the tiny humans alive. We're basically in survival mode. We're going through our own daily grinds, and there's very little intersection. There's very little romance, very little of like what it was when it was just the two of us and not the kids. And so, um, I think I think especially with a newborn, it's like you live in that space. You're just like this is it, and it's fleeting, and it'll be over, and then we'll find it again. Um, but even once they get older, I think as for me, like as the daily grind happens and you're just like kind of living the routines, it becomes very easy to just like wake up and then just like do all the stuff you normally do. You get the lunches ready, you get the kids' teeth brushed, you get them in the car, you bring them to school, you come home, you work, or whatever your routine is, and then all of a sudden the day is over and you've just like lived the day without really being involved in the day.
Mm.
And I find for myself personally that the less I'm thinking about and the more on auto mode I am with my day-to-day life, the more I begin to feel like we're in a roommate phase because I'm not actively thinking about like us or getting out of the routine. So one thing that I have been doing for quite some time, I don't know if you've noticed this, but one thing I've been doing for quite some time is as I'm going about my routines, I'll stop and look at you and I'll think to myself, when was the last time I kissed her?
Aw,
And I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll kiss you.
that's so sweet.
And every time I do that, every single time, it like brings me back to being in the present.
Wow.
And when I do that, it then encourages us. We start talking more and all this stuff. And I've been doing it for a long time. You probably haven't even noticed, but there have been many times where I'll kiss you and be like, "What is that? What's that for?" So I just haven't kissed you in a while.
Nice.
But it has helped me to not get into the roommate phase because it's almost like a it's like the people who are obsessive compulsive and they use a rubber band. It's like a rubber band. It's like, hey, you're not paying attention. Pay attention. Like, go kiss your wife. And that strategy has been very, very helpful. It's something that I as I get more and more stressed, I try to think about it more and more, um, so that I'm not just like in the daily grind of things.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, I didn't think you even were aware of it.
I've noticed you kissed me,
Yeah,
but yeah, I didn't know you were like.
to try and not get in the roommate
It's
phase.
really cute.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't care about me. You don't do anything.
I
You don't do
love
anything.
you. Look at that.
Um, and so that brings us to another part of Couples Corner that we wanted to talk about, which was
Our anniversary traditions,
so
which I just thought would be a good topic because when this episode airs, we'll have just had our 8-year anniversary. Yeah, end of June.
and that is another part of like staying out of the roommate phase, and it's something that is important to me is like creating traditions. It's like
Yeah.
creating these things that we know that will come and that we have that require thoughtfulness and attention and are fun. And so we decided very early on, before our first anniversary, we decided that we wanted to do the traditional wedding anniversaries for gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And um I think I brought this up. And I think the reason I brought it up is that I had already been thinking about like getting you pink tickets.
Yeah.
And then for some reason I like
Had you?
got to this and I was like, "Oh, paper. Paper's number 1. This is perfect. I can make this work."
So you already knew that
I
going
knew
in?
I knew before we decided to do this. I knew that I'd been thinking about like trying to get you to a Pink concert.
Pink the singer,
Yeah.
listeners.
So the first anniversary traditional gift is paper, and the gifts are usually like they start off less expensive and then get more and more expensive the longer you're married. But for our first anniversary, I bought you pink tickets in Toronto.
Yeah, we went to Toronto.
And we went to Toronto for our
It was
first
really
anniversary, which was
great.
a ton of fun.
One of our best trips.
It was a really good trip.
Yeah.
We saw the Blue Jays too.
Yeah.
Megan's
Tickets
first
to the
Major
Blue
League
Jays.
Baseball game.
That was so fun.
Yep.
And then I got you a scratch off map, so a world map that's actually hanging in our living space, and we scratched off the places we've been.
Yeah.
To be fair, we haven't scratched many places
since we framed it. We haven't. Yeah. Back 8 years ago. It's funny, right? Because like you were pretty upset with me because you're like you bought this thing,
Right.
which was very thoughtful. It was
I
a very
didn't
thoughtful
know
gift, and I bought you. I bought you a trip to Toronto.
You spent way more money on my gift.
And so yeah, so over the years we have done all of the. So year 1 is paper, year 2 is cotton. Do you remember what we did for that?
So I got you a sweatshirt that said Shroot Farms.
Yeah, it was a Shroot Farms
because
sweatshirt.
you love The Office.
Yep.
And it was around it was 2021.
Or well, it was 2020.
Yeah, 2020. So we had just been watching Office on repeat.
Yep.
And so I got that for you. Do you remember what you got me?
Yeah, I got you onesies.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh onesie.
Because you were pregnant.
Yeah, because I was pregnant.
Yep.
Aw, so sweet.
Third anniversary is leather.
Leather. I got you your wallet.
That I still have to this day.
And I customized a little cartoon in it.
A little cartoon bean that you had drawn.
Because you're the Bean,
Yep.
which I don't think we've talked about. But
no.
My nickname for Mike is Bean, and I drew little cartoons of what the bean looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bearded bean. It doesn't make any sense.
It's great. It's really good stuff, but it's on my wallet, and I've been using that wallet ever since. I got us leather bracelets that you lost.
I did lose my first one, and then we got more.
And we don't wear them.
And we don't typically wear them, but I do have that one. I don't have the first one.
All right, fourth.
You guys might notice a trend that happens.
Fourth was fruit or flowers.
Yep.
So do you remember?
We did a wine tasting.
That's what I got you.
For the fruit.
We went to Shelburne Vineyards.
And then we went to Gardener Supply, and you got to pick out some fruit bushes. Trees. Yeah, fruit bushes. Right. Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah. Fifth anniversary was wood.
Wood. I know you. Oh, I remember. Wait, no. You got us rings.
Yep.
For the wood.
Which I also
lost.
We both have lost. I don't know where mine is either.
I feel like I've seen yours recently. I have no idea what happened to mine. I wore it July 4th weekend, and then I don't know what happened to it.
You lost it like...
It was pretty soon
like
after.
6 weeks.
Which I really liked that ring.
Yeah.
Part of it, why I lost it, was I couldn't get it wet because it was wood. So I would take it off all the time.
You remember what you got me?
Wood.
Think outside the box.
Oh, concert tickets to the Wood Brothers.
Yep.
Which is its own story because I ended up getting scammed, and I had a newborn. No.
Yeah.
Did I have a newborn at that time?
Yeah.
Second. Yeah. Anyway, I looked up on Google like the concert tickets, and
you looked up Flynn.
Yeah, Flynn Theater concert tickets for the Wood Brothers. And the first link, of course, is what's that? Ticket Center. No, what's it called?
It's not
It's
Ticketmaster.
not
It was like Ticket Center or something
Ticket
like that.
Center.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the Flynn website. And I just clicked on it.
So these tickets, you know, the Flynn is like the tickets at the Flynn. The Flynn is a performance theater in Burlington. It's not that big. Tickets are like for something like this would be like $40, maybe $50. And you spent something like $130 on each ticket.
So much money. And I
And
remember standing in the kitchen with you being like, oh my gosh, it's saying that there's only these many tickets left. Like, we
Yeah.
need to buy them now. And
it was like $230, and I was like,
stupid.
I was like, I don't know why the Wood Brothers would cost $230.
But we were like, yes, let's do it. And then I got scammed, and the tickets were fraudulent.
So you had also thought, I was like, you were going to be having a baby like right then. The concert was like something like 6 weeks after the baby. And I was like, are you sure you're going to be good to go to this? And you were like, yeah, I'll be fine. And then the date came, and you're like, I'm not going to go to this.
I can't go to a concert.
And so I went with my my brother-in-law. Shout out Brendan. And yeah, they went to go scan the tickets, and they're like, oh, these aren't working. And so we had to go. We went in and bought tickets. And then you wrote or called the company, and you got your money back.
I was calling that company like every couple days, and I eventually got my money back, which I was very happy about. Because I was sure that was it.
6th anniversary is
Iron.
I remember what I got you. I'm trying to remember what you got me. Oh, I remember what you got me. You got me a new waffle iron.
Oh, yeah. And you got me the fondue. The cast iron fondue.
Yeah, which we've used twice.
We've used twice, and both times were wonderful.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It doesn't happen
really,
very often.
really cute idea, though.
Yeah.
Because we did have a really nice date night where we just ate a bunch of chocolate fondue.
Yep.
Fruit.
7th anniversary is copper. I remember what I got you.
Copper, I got you a chess set that had copper pieces.
It's a beautiful chess set.
It's really pretty.
It's really beautiful. I got you your Fitbit because it had copper. Oh no, it doesn't have copper components in it, but the color of the band was copper. Oh no, the color of the
Fitbit
is copper.
Yeah. That was one I wanted a Fitbit.
That year,
like, how can we tie this in?
I think that year, because it's copper, and we were kind of like, we were having a hard time coming up with.
Yeah, copper was a hard one.
Yeah.
This year's bronze.
Yeah, well, so it's interesting because like it says, I've seen the 8th anniversary as like bronze or pottery, and then the 9th anniversary is then pottery. So, but so this year,
right? Because we did say that we were doing pottery, right?
Yep.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. Some sources say bronze / pottery, but then the 9th is also pottery. Yeah. That's kind of weird.
So we're gonna go and do what is it called? We're gonna go to a pottery class.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna throw some pottery.
Yeah.
There's like a date night, couple night to do that. We're gonna do that officially, right?
We have to schedule it.
Yeah. That'll be super fun.
So yeah, so traditions and staying present is what I rely on to try and avoid that whole roommate phase. Because it gets very easy to get sucked into like the like grind of the day, you know.
Yep.
I know that really gets me like just I lose any sense of anything. It's just like day in and day out and day in and day out.
Yeah. And you brought up the newborn phase. I do remember we specifically like picked days of the week where we knew we were gonna like dedicate, because you're so exhausted that once the baby goes down, you're like, I just want to veg or go to sleep. Like, I'm either gonna crash out and watch Netflix or I'm gonna go to sleep. And so there were certain nights of the week where we like dedicated, like, no, we're not gonna turn the TV on. We're gonna actually like talk to each other and hang out,
or play a game or something.
Yeah, something for just us. And I think that really helped
which all ties back, and I mean, this is my shtick these days is like staying present. Like
Yeah.
it's like the more mindful you are at like staying present, which is very, very, I mean, almost impossible for me. But I feel like the more I do that, the more I like, the more enjoyable life is. Like the more involved I am, everything is better when I'm like focused on the present.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something you're very good at.
I'm
You're
very
naturally
present.
very good at that.
I am trying really hard to change some habits with my phone. Specifically when I get home from work, I'm not saying I'm perfect at all, but one of my goals is to like leave the phone in a different room. So like often I'll leave it in our room, which is downstairs. So then once I'm upstairs with the girls, it's like it's not even around. It's hard though because then I'll be like, Mike, give me your phone so I can take a picture.
All the time?
And then you're like, stop taking my phone. But yeah, the phone's really hard. I'm just realizing how much I'm like reaching for it,
Yeah.
but that steals your presence. Sorry.
All right. Episode 1 of season 2 in the books.
Yes, thank you for joining us for season 2. I'll do my spiel.
Do it.
If you want to be on the pod or want to reach out, our email is ponderingparenthoodpodcast@gmail.com. We are very active on Instagram. You can see our Instagram at pondering parenthood pod on Instagram. We're also on YouTube. Like, follow, subscribe, share with anyone you think might enjoy any of these episodes. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you are responsible for growing our fan base, I mean, who knows? Maybe at the end of the season, you'll be the one getting free merch.
Also, from my stats that I can see, we have quite a bit of listeners that are not officially following.
Yeah, you gotta
so
follow.
I can see what percentage of our listening base is
we can
like
see you
following on Spotify or whatever platform. We want to make that 100%.
Yeah,
so
if you're listening to this and you haven't followed us, shame on you.
shame.
Click
that button right now. That is all.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.